Dismissed Interior Secretary Ismael Sueno says he has wholeheartedly accepted President Rodrigo Duterte's decision to remove him from the cabinet. Duterte unceremoniously fired Sueno Monday night, reportedly over corruption issues, but Sueno denies these. Sueno, in a statement Tuesday, says he wishes his detractors, referring to undersecretaries and fellow Duterte campaigners John Castriciones, Jesus Hinlo, and Emily Padilla, to do better in the DILG. He earlier accused 3 undersecretaries had been interested in the DILG's top post from the beginning. Sueno adds he's ready to face any investigation, but wished the president had the information passed on to him validated first. The sacked DILG chief is accused of acquiring a hotel in South Cotabato and trucks for a family business, which are all beyond his means. He also allegedly facilitated the purchase and delivery of fire trucks from Austria that were more expensive than other sources. He also reportedly accepted bribes from gambling lords. Sueno earlier said the hotel belongs to his brother and the trucks to his daughter. In his statement, he says he refused the bribe offered by gambling lords. Sueno defends the Austrian deal as a perfected contract entered into by the previous administration. The contract is the subject of a pending petition before the Supreme Court, but Sueno justifies implementing it, saying there is no temporary restraining order, any injunctive relief, or even a status quo ante-order. Senator Antonio Trillanes dares the Duterte administration to file corruption charges against former Interior Secretary Ismael Sueno and former National Irrigation Administration Chief Peter Laviña to show he's serious in his anti-corruption drive. This after President Rodrigo Duterte fired Sueno Monday night over corruption allegations. More than a month ago, Laviña was also sacked for corruption issues. He adds the president would likely go soft on Sueno and Laviña because, quote, they know a lot of things. The opposition senator says he is not buying Malacanang's, quote, convenient excuse of weeding out corruption to justify Sueno's dismissal. Trillanes says the decision to fire Sueno is an alibi for Duterte to appoint his preferred chief for the DILG. Duterte supposedly once defeated vice presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos to head the DILG after the one-year appointment ban on losing candidates lapses in May. He cites the cases Tourism Promotions Board Chief Operations Officer Cesar Montano, who's facing a complaint on alleged mismanagement and alleged corruption, and Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre, who got flack for reinstating benefits for high-level convicts who testified against Senator Laila de Lima. President Rodrigo Duterte is ready to give away government housing units in Bulacan to members of militant group Kadamay, who've been occupying the units since mid-March. Duterte assures police and military personnel who are promised those same houses he will give them better ones by December.
And I will ask you, soldiers and the policemen, bitawan na lang ninyo yan. Ibigay na lang natin sa kanila. Total mahirap sila.
Around 4,000 urban poor residents have taken over vacant housing units in resettlement sites in Pandi, Bulacan since March 8. The units have been unoccupied for 5 years, and Kadamay said the government should just give them away for free. Duterte says he will ask the National Housing Authority to look for suitable land for the bigger houses to be given to police and soldiers. The president says he got the assurance of NHA that it has enough funds for another housing project.
I will personally go there to supervise your housing project. I am making you the commitment, and I guarantee that you will have yours.
He asks Kadamay members not to be violent against the police and military securing the housing complexes in Pandi.
Yung mga kadamay nandiyan, huwag ninyong galawin ang mga sundalo pati polis. Kasi pag hindi tuluyan, paalisin ko kayong lahat.
The president and NHA previously threatened to evict the Kadamay members who occupied the housing units in Pandi. But Kadamay, NHA, the Armed Forces, and Philippine National Police already agreed to let Kadamay members have the housing units during a meeting last March 27. Philippine Airlines advises its passengers taking international flights to be at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 2 at least 4 to 5 hours before departure because of insufficient staffing at the airport's immigration counters. An ongoing salary dispute involving Bureau of Immigration employees is taking its toll on airport operations. The advisory also comes just several days before Holy Week, one of the busiest times of the year for Filipinos to travel. The salary dispute stems from President Rodrigo Duterte's decision to veto the provision in the national budget, which allowed the use of express lane charges to augment the salaries of BI personnel. The augmentation came in the form of overtime pay and bonuses. The BI has been struggling to pay its 960 contractual workers since December 2016 as a result. Regular workers presently only receive basic pay. Around 1,600 or 80% of the BI's regular workforce belong to salary grades 1 to 11, earning 6,000 pesos to 13,000 pesos monthly. Frontliners such as immigration officers in the airport belong to this group. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre earlier said 32 immigration personnel resigned since the budget cut. BI workers have filed mass leaves of absences and skipped workdays at the airport. Some are asking for their certificates of employment, indicating they are looking for other jobs. BI workers also say more will resign if the Duterte administration doesn't resolve the problem. A Kyrgyzstan-born suicide bomber was responsible for the bomb attack that killed 14 and injured dozens at the Saint Petersburg metro in Russia last Monday. Kyrgyz authorities says the bomber is a naturalized Russian born in southern Kyrgyzstan in 1995. Moscow hasn't commented on the alleged bomber's identity. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the explosion, which comes after ISIS called for attacks on Russia in retribution for its military intervention in Syria against the jihadists.